So, apparently, Resident Evil Requiem is the best game in this famous franchise's 30-year history. Now, I have a confession. I've never actually played a Resident Evil, but growing up, even I knew who Nemesis was, and I felt I kind of missed out on a real gaming experience. So when Requiem came out, to thunderous applause, I decided to give it a go. And man, am I happy I did. So the game is played through our two protagonists, Leon and Grace. Now Leon's a dude in his 50s, and by this point, he's all like tired and beaten up and shit. He's been doing this for 30 years. The man groans like a wounded buffalo whenever he has to do even the slightest bit of manual labor, like climb a ladder. And yet the man's brain is somehow still 15 years old, and he shoots out these cheesy as hell one-liners throughout the game, and every single one hits home. They're all so damn good. The bosses are repeatedly stunned as they can't believe the dumb shit this guy is saying. The zombies must see Leon as some sort of Kratos god of war figure, considering he's single-handedly been devastating their population for over 30 years now. And he's showing absolutely no signs of slowing down in Requiem, where he's armed to the teeth and in a hurry to crush skulls against any surface with a basic structural integrity. And that's why I thought his stages were great. In terms of kicking back and relaxing, let me put it this way. If Grace is stuck in there with the zombies are stuck in there with Leon. The guy has more guns and ammo than a fully upgraded Helldiver spaceship, and he's dealing with a bunch of slow, brainless, empty-handed enemies, so obviously he beats the living crap out of them. Except for the mortar zombies. That's right. Goddamn mortar zombies that can drop a mortar shell on a dime, and they synchronize their volleys to ensure perpetual destruction around you. Those guys spice things up a notch. Also, there's some skinny dickhead fire chainsaw guy who somehow takes 2 grenades and 2 clips of glorious rifle ammo to bring down. I put more lead in him than he weighed. Fuck that guy. Oh yeah, the rifle. This baby can do it all. Much like that first fart the morning after a night of heavy drinking, this rifle is pure violence. It sounds great and only stops when everything in the room is super dead. And there's even a little charm that increases the damage when you take the scope off, which you can do in the pause menu. You see where I'm going with this. If guys are far away, put the scope on, headshot. The guys come close, pause, scope off, the charm kicks in, and congrats, you now have a rapid fire shotgun that hits hard and has a clip longer than this dude's stupid gun. Fuck this guy, but we'll come back to him soon. So yeah, with the rifle, if you see a guy, you can just start blasting, and you know you're gonna solve the problem one way or another. Which helps balance how utterly shit some of the other weapons are, in particular the SMG. Now, if you were to ask me, Drewza, what gun would you like to fight off a bunch of slow-moving but large in number decomposing corpses? I would say an SMG. Thank you very much. And that's before you mention that at various points throughout my little adventure, I would have over 300 bullets for the damn thing magically stored in my sexy jacket pocket. The thing is though, the SMG isn't worth shit. It takes a full clip to achieve anything, and you'd almost rather just take out the regular slow firing handgun if you have to deal with a swarm of zombies, because at least with the handgun, the zombies actually know they're being shot at. For example, this one time I had like 6 bullets left in the SMG. I knew I couldn't do anything with it, but I decided to dump them into a zombie's face anyway, purely for the lols, and then I switched to my handgun and actually finished the job. Now the SMG against the elite guards, who were my favorite of the mini encounters, was beyond useless. Borderline comical, because these guys can actually shoot back at you, and these guys will shoot back at you, and their guns hurt a fuck ton, even through walls. It is ironic, therefore, that the guy with the shield was the only one the SMG worked on, However, this is probably because of the sheer volume of frozen peas I shot at him. He probably just quit the game to go play Call of Duty, the little shield using bitch. Otherwise, I thought Leon's combat was super cool, super slick, and a ton of fun. But did you know you can't do finishes if you put a sight on your gun? That's right, a perfectly normal thing to unlock and add to a gun stops the finishes right away. I had no idea until I was like 99% of the way through the game and I saw someone mention it on YouTube. What a bizarre restriction from the developers. Here I was thinking I was simply killing them too fast. Also, I believe each gun only has one finisher, so after seeing it for like 3 or 4, 10, 20 times, it loses its shine pretty quickly. Seems lazy to only have one finisher, don't you think? Now the Grace stages. Man, I loved the Grace stages. Complete opposite of Leon. In this case, you are utterly weak and feeble and useless. It reminded me of when I tried to play Silksong. Now, it is weird to say that you love that, but at least you felt something when you played as Grace. Every time I walked into a new room or a new area, I was shitting myself, and I was just hoping the room was empty, which obviously it never ever was. Although that being said, very few times was I surprised by a new enemy type. Let's be honest, it's mostly going to be the same lumber over to you slowly, grumble, grumble zombie. You know, very little enemy variety in this game. Like, sure, that zombie has white pants, and that zombie is fucking grey for some reason. But let's be honest, it's basically the same zombie. However, thank God this is the case, because it turns out Grace can't hold a gun steady to save her life. Literally. Unless the zombie is standing still, in which case, baby, it's time to paint the ceiling. Trust me, screw the steroids and buy the stabilizers so that you can finally land back-to-back shots. Back shots. Pity the stabilizers don't work on her stuttering though. I'd have paid double the antique coins just to get her to speak normally. Oh yeah, this place has these old coins lying around that somehow unlock Class A drugs in the cigar lounge, as if we're in some sort of British boarding school or something. Crazy logic, you see, is not a bug in this franchise. It is a feature. Store scrap metal in a safe? Cool. Require 3 orbs to open a door just to go to the back garden? A pain in the arse during a fire drill? Yeah, but go for it. How about forcing the security manager to walk through the isolation ward just to get to his office every day? Of course. Fuck that guy. Weird logic is all part of the charm in Resident Evil. Speaking of which, at the very start of the game, our hero Leon, you know, the guy with more guns than a Texas Walmart before Christmas, has a normal handgun with a ton of bullets, and yet he decides to give Grace this big-ass mega bolt gun that would make a space marine flinch, and all of 1 bullet to spare.
I want a normal gun for a normal person.
Now, am I the only one who thinks he gave this to Grace to use as a, easy way out? Because he must have taken one look at her at the other side of that fence and just known she was in for a bad time. But anyway, I immediately instructed Grace to use that bullet on the big chef's face, and that guy didn't give a fuck. And now Grace is about to learn that actions have consequences. But my favorite logic jump in the game is when you have to walk around like some sort of vampire kleptomaniac and suck up every ounce of red zombie goodness that you can find to make, of course, bullets. Oh, and exploding zombie potion, which works by injecting zombie blood back into a zombie because, stop asking questions. It is super effective though, and you can shove this bad boy into Chunk and other problem zombies like you're some sort of EpiPen psycho killer to make them unalive rapidly.
I'll hit you again, okay? I'm pushing on it, okay? What about little jabs? Little jabs? Look at your dad!
And now, let's talk about the bosses in this game. It may surprise you to know that in my opinion, the best boss fight in this game is not actually when we're playing as Leonidas, Master of Bullets, but instead when we are Grace, up against the Shadow Ghost. Controversial as it may sound, I think this is the only truly memorable boss in the entire game. This mangly ass nightmare tortures us for the vast majority of our playthrough. It's a big problem for Grace from day one, and it's genuinely terrifying whenever a light goes out or you hear that big chain start rattling behind you. That's right, this big girl boss hates light, has an on and off relationship with bullets, and loves sneaking around and cutting you off from where you need to be. For a game where the average movement speed can be described as glacial, the Shadow Ghost, a 10-foot tall, 1-ton piece of daddy issue driven monstrosity, happens to be the most nimble creature around, and she often outpaces you harder than Max Verstappen would outpace a squad of mobility scooters. This leads to numerous frights during this final encounter, and it builds the tension perfectly, as every single knob you need to twist in this damn place is either lost or broken, meaning when you think you have time, all of a sudden, you fucking don't, and things are about to get very guttural very fast. Fortunately, Little Miss Nightgown is mildly allergic to lead-acillin, and you're carrying a hand cannon full of the stuff. She was an awesome boss, and may a monument be built upon her puddle. Unfortunately, that's the only boss Grace really gets. I don't include Chunk and Chef because, you know, a few quick jabs and they pop like the inconvenient zits that they are. Now let's move on to Leon's bosses. I found them somewhat less fun, for various reasons. Chunk Too Fat Too Furious gets some bonus points for a claustrophobic fight and for eating shotgun shells like they made of goddamn Dunkin' Donuts. But this was only possible because Leon is too cool to run faster than a light jog apparently, even though everyone knows cardio is a fat guy's ultimate weakness. Spider Bro started off well. I enjoyed the runaway part, but the actual fight was a bit of a breeze. I managed to kill him before realizing his weakness was his infected ass pimple. Also, what the hell is a massive spider doing in this place? I thought this game was about a zombie virus. Clearly I missed a memo somewhere.
Oh, I miss our Raccoon City hospitality.
And speaking of random big things, fuck the plant boss. Once again, Leon moving at the speed of someone whose primary concern is making sure his hair gel stays in place is the main jeopardy in this fight. Add to it the green and grey tones, and you get one ugly encounter. My highlight of the fight was the classic Leon chirp, which helped soothe the burn that was the 5 minutes this boss stole from my life.
Just so you know, I've killed every plant I've ever had.
Now, the Commander was a much better fight, and apparently he's some cool character from previous games, but unfortunately for him, he had no idea that I've already beaten Sekiro, and he becomes one of our parry slot bosses. Simply wait for him to attack and enjoy the generous parry window and then beat him like he owes you money and the fight will be over in a minute. Apparently this guy took a hit from a missile or something, but now he's dying to a dude with bangs wielding a mini axe. Look, it's not a strong moment for the guy's reputation. Now, Mr. X was probably my favorite of the Leon fights. His intro was awesome. He's big, he's scary looking, and my god on earth can he eat a bullet. In the end though, combining parry windows, you could fly a jumbo jet through with the glorious, glorious rifle, and this boss goes down pretty quickly. My best part of the fight is when I decided to unload a full clip of that piece of shit SMG into his chest, and he just threw a car at me for the sheer insult of thinking that such a meager weapon could hurt him. I also don't think we've mentioned how kind it was of him to keep his only weak spot nice and exposed on his chest for us. Mr. X, more like Mr. X marks the spot. Haha, yeah, I said it. And now, finally, we get to the main boss of the entire game. So who's it going to be? Is it going to be the stylish guy with the long pistol who can somehow dodge bullets and just seems invincible, and who might finally give us the challenge we're after? Or is it the science nerd who looks like he washes his face with nothing but gritty slabs of butter and used toilet paper? Yep, that's right. Mr. Invincible eats a quick dick and dies, and the next thing you know, we're fighting Dr. Victor Gideon. And you'll never guess it, Parry, slop, and rifle, baby. Or shotgun, if you forgot that bullets actually matter and ended up not crafting any before the fight like me. I also used the Requiem pistol here, just because I got this charm that made it hit harder than a mounted Bruin. Shout out to my lockdown Warzone buddies. A few point-blank shots to the face with that guy, and Dr. Gideon changes into some big ugly thing that I can't really make out. It was like fighting the fucking plant all over again. Anyway, I beat this boss first try thanks to the whole parrying mechanic, making it a matter of when and not if. And sure enough, a couple minutes later, game over, baby. Now, looking back at the 12 hours I spent playing Resident Evil Requiem, I can honestly say I absolutely loved it. I had so much fun. I loved the action horror elements mixed with the John Wick bullet hell combat, and I loved the rationality that's built into this franchise and Leon's stupid comments. Sure, I thought maybe his bosses could have been done a bit better for what is, again, an action horror game, but maybe I've just been spoiled by FromSoft and bosses aren't actually the main pull for this franchise, and that's okay. I don't even feel the need to grind for New Game Plus or to try get unlimited ammo, and I'd rather lower my balls into a blender than play that dull level again. And yet, I still would give this game an 8 out of 10, and I highly recommend it to everyone to give it a chance. Like me, especially if you're new to the franchise, I guarantee you, you will love it.